shifting the conscious mindset of a massive group of people can't be put into one sentence. And I think it's all about having to create opportunities for actresses, for female directors, for female producers. My name is Zoë Bell and I am an actress and a producer. It was fantastic growing up in New Zealand. I loved it. The island that I was born on was very much a sort of a bit of a free love type place way back in the day. You're just outside in the dirt, and I would just leave for the whole day and build forts and catch tadpoles and frogs and stuff, and then come home before dark. I was fascinated with gymnastics. Fascinated. I'd stay up to all times in the night just to watch the Olympics. So when we got to a place that had the resources, which was no longer on the island, we had to go to the mainland, I started doing gymnastics. I met people that were already working on like TV shows like Xena and Hercules and stuff in New Zealand. And I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, I'm designed for that. That's like, if I believed in God, I would believe that he designed me specifically to do that. My dad is a doctor, he's retired, but was a doctor at the time, working at a A&E, or an ER, emergency room. And a guy came in with a bump on the head and mild concussion, and Dad gave him some Advil and got his phone number because he was a stuntman. And that was pretty much it. 2 months later I was doing my first ever stunt work. My parents have always been incredibly supportive. My parents were always about us chasing whatever made us happiest. So Camino is, well, it's the perfect example of Josh Waller rang me and told me about the story of a male journalist called Avery, and he ends up going to the jungles of Colombia to document this freedom fighter and his little gang of folks. Whilst he's there, he captures a photo of this guy who's meant to be a savior and a missionary doing something naughty and mean, and then basically he's on a run in the jungle for his life. And it was one of those moments when I said to Josh, what if he was a she? And he was like, well, that's why I'm calling you, because we thought it would be much more interesting if you were Avery. And I was like, wow, yes, I was so excited. But she's a good example of someone who's a very strong female, put into some really difficult, challenging situations, and she rises to them, you know. The script, literally, we didn't even change names because Avery was his name and Avery is now her name. But what was interesting is we didn't change what was on the page, but how what was on the page came out through me was different to how it would have come out through a dude. She has a different kind of fear when she's being overpowered by a guy. For me, when I was in that situation, it wasn't just, oh no, I'm gonna get beaten up. There was a whole other world of horrible possibilities that that occurred to Avery as a female that would have never occurred to Avery as a man. But I think in some scripts there will be things that change because women relate to the world differently. That's part of what makes it awesome, you know? Being the person that I am doing what I'm doing, I sort of represent feminism and new age independent women. I didn't become a stuntwoman because I wanted to be like, I'm going to show the world that women can. I just was like, that's what I want to do and I'm just going to go after it, you know? And I think my opinions have shifted a lot. I used to be sort of hesitant around the term feminism, and because I was one of the boys, and actually when I was a teenager, girls terrified me, to be completely honest. They were all a bit crazy and scary, and I didn't speak the language, and so I would hang out with boys and I'd drink beer and, you know, be a lad, and that was just easier and safer. When I would meet women who were fighting for feminism so hard that they were crossing over into man-hating, I'm like, well, first of all, I don't hate men. Second of all, I feel like you're losing every ounce of possible forward movement is being countered by the fact that you're terrifying and offending the people whose minds you're trying to change. But in the last couple of years, I've met a lot of incredible women, particularly sort of directors that are fully qualified and have made amazing work, and had incredible acclaim. And then they're still struggling to find work. The natural instinct is for a man to feel more comfortable giving it to a man, and often they haven't considered whether it could be a woman or not. And that's the hard part, is trying to get them to consider it as if it's normal, because it would be awesome if it was normal.